How does a missing teenage girl end up decomposing in the front trunk of a Tesla, owned by a rising pop star, and no one notices for weeks? This isn't just another headline, it's a chilling mystery unfolding in real time. One that's captivated the internet, exposed disturbing secrets, and left a long list of questions no one seems willing to answer. At the center of it all, a quiet artist, known for sad songs and funeral-themed shows, and a girl who vanished without a trace, only to reappear in the most horrifying way imaginable. What happened to Celeste Rivas? And why was she in his car? Because once you start following the timeline, once you hear the eerie lyrics, the interviews, the tattoos, the gaps in the tour schedule, it stops feeling like a coincidence. It starts to feel like a cover-up. But the most disturbing part, nobody has been arrested, and the silence is deafening. It all began when a Tesla was towed from a quiet street in Hollywood. The car had been sitting there for weeks, maybe longer, unmoved, abandoned, unnoticed. Neighbors complained about the smell. The odor was strong, disturbing, and growing worse by the day. So, when the LAPD arrived to inspect the vehicle, no one expected what they were about to find. Inside the front trunk, the frunk of the Tesla Model Y, officers discovered human remains in an advanced state of decomposition. The car was registered to one 9-year-old singer-songwriter, David Burke. He wasn't just some random car owner. He was a charting artist with over 10 million monthly Spotify listeners, signed to Interscope Records, with hits like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. At first, fans hoped this was all a mistake. Maybe the car had been stolen. Maybe David had no idea. After all, he was on tour at the time, performing shows across the country. It was easy to believe someone else had used the vehicle, maybe even framed him. But then came the identification. The body belonged to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 5-year-old girl who had been reported missing over a year ago. Suddenly, this wasn't just a tragic accident. It was the reopening of a nightmare, and the start of something even darker. Celeste's name had largely faded from the headlines. She was one of many runaway teens, but her friends had never stopped asking questions. And now, her body had been found in the last place anyone expected. Worse, this wasn't just some unknown victim. Because the internet found something almost immediately, David and Celeste had history. Within hours of Celeste's identity being confirmed, social media sleuths uncovered a mountain of clues, things that, when viewed individually, might seem innocent, but together, they painted a disturbing picture. First, the tattoos. Photos surfaced, showing David with a small tattoo on his finger, the letters "Sh" in cursive. Fans matched it to a similar tattoo seen on Celeste's hand. The font, the placement, the ink, it was too specific to be a coincidence. Some claimed it meant "shh," as in silence. Others believed it had a darker meaning, something shared between them, a secret they carried. Then came the photos. Buried deep in Instagram archives and Discord servers were older images showing David and Celeste together. Not performing, not in public, just candid, casual moments. Nothing overtly inappropriate, but strange, considering the age difference and the mystery now unraveling. It didn't stop there. A leaked demo track, allegedly recorded by David before his breakout hit Romantic Homicide, referenced a girl named Celeste. The lyrics weren't direct, but they hinted at a girl he lost, someone who ran away or was taken from him. And then, fans discovered something even weirder. David had been recently spotted with another girl, also named Celeste. Yes, a second girl. Friends say this new Celeste even appeared in behind-the-scenes footage, walking near him at a show. That sent the internet into a spiral. Was it a coincidence? A pattern? Or something more sinister? As the theories grew, fans began re-examining his performances. David had always leaned into dark aesthetics. His stage sets were minimal, moody. Some shows featured caskets, funereal imagery, themes of death and reincarnation. At the time, it felt artistic, raw emotion, Gen Z poetry. But now, it felt like a confession hiding in plain sight. And it was only the beginning, because what David had once shared, in a now resurfaced interview, made it all feel even darker. Long before this investigation began, David shared something in interviews that fans once thought was just edgy storytelling, part of his artistic persona. But now, it's haunting. He described an alter ego he called Atomy, sometimes stylized as Atami or Etami. In David's own words, Atami was a darker version of himself, someone who commits crimes, breaks rules, crosses lines. And David, he claimed he was the one who solved those crimes, in his music. Like a hero chasing his own shadow. He once outlined a concept for a music video, where Atami is found in the trunk of a car, eerily similar to the way Celeste's body was discovered. At the time, it seemed symbolic, abstract. The way some artists use personas like The Weeknd's After Hours, or Tyler the Creator's Wolf. But in hindsight, that trunk scene is no longer just a metaphor. Now it's a red flag. And fans aren't ignoring it. Clips of David describing Atami are circulating like wildfire. Old song lyrics are being dissected for meaning. The character once seen as fictional now feels disturbingly real. Was Atami just a concept? Or a confession hiding in plain sight? Because as the media stayed quiet, and police held their statements, the internet began doing the work themselves, matching dates, tracking footage, and uncovering what might be the most suspicious part of the case. The tour delay, David's We Tour, was set to begin on the 30th of July, 2025, in San Francisco. The schedule was public printed on merch, posted online, widely known. After San Francisco, he was booked for Phoenix, Arizona, then Del Mar, California, and beyond. But something happened. The first 3 shows were quietly cancelled. No official explanation, no press release, just silence. The tour didn't officially begin until August 5, 6 days later than planned. And what else happened in that time frame? Celeste stopped responding to her friends. According to multiple sources, the last known communication from Celeste was at the end of July, right around the time David should have been on stage. Friends say she went quiet. No texts, no calls, nothing. So fans started putting it together. Celeste disappears, late July. David cancels shows, late July. Celeste is later found in his Tesla. Was this a coincidence? Or was something happening behind the scenes that forced him to delay? On August 26, while David was performing out of state, a neighbor reported his Tesla sitting on the street for weeks unmoved, reeking of decay. That means it had been parked, abandoned, possibly since late July, which led investigators and fans to ask a chilling question. Did he cancel his tour to deal with a crime? Or was it just an unrelated delay? And if he was gone, where exactly did he go during that missing time? That question would only get more complicated. One of the first things fans pointed out was a video David posted on September 1st, during the middle of his tour. He appeared to be at home, in what many assumed was his Los Angeles residence. But after close inspection, comparing backgrounds from older TikToks and live streams, viewers realized something strange. The house wasn't in LA. It was his childhood home in Texas. Why does that matter? Because during the time he was supposedly on tour, moving city to city, he had taken a private jet from Canada to Texas, performed briefly with another artist, and then disappeared from public view again. That's when another major event took place. On September 18, police were called to his family's home in Texas. A swatting incident. Someone reported gunshots, screaming, and even that, a dead body was in the house. Armed officers responded. They knocked. His parents answered the door, shocked and confused. Police found no threat. No one was hurt. No one was arrested. And David? He wasn't even there. The whole incident was written off as a false alarm. But internet detectives saw it differently. They believed the swatting may have been connected to the Tesla case, especially with emotions running high and no official statements from anyone involved. By this point, David's social media had gone completely dark. No posts, no music promos, no comments. It was radio silence. And silence speaks volumes. As of now, the LAPD has not named David as a suspect. Not officially, not publicly, but their silence and the facts of the case have people suspicious. Here's what we know. The Tesla was parked in one place for weeks, long enough for neighbors to complain. The body was discovered in the frunk, not the backseat, not the trunk. Tesla Model Y vehicles come equipped with Sentry Mode, a feature that can record video around the car. But that feature has to be turned on. And it appears it wasn't. Even worse? Tesla's app can alert the owner if a door or trunk is left open for more than 10 minutes. Meaning if someone had opened the frunk to place something inside something that took longer than usual, David may have gotten a notification on his phone. But again, we don't know if he had alerts enabled. We don't know if he ever checked the app. And the LAPD has refused to say. Another rumor circulated. Was Celeste pregnant? Some Discord messages, supposedly leaked, hinted that David said she was. But TMZ later confirmed she was not. According to the autopsy certificate, Celeste hadn't been pregnant recently, or at any point in the last year. As for cause of death, still undetermined, still pending toxicology, still no charges. And that's what's driving people insane. The evidence is piling up. The timeline is suspicious. The connections are undeniable. And yet, he walks free. As people scramble to understand how Celeste could end up in this situation alone, missing, and later found in a Tesla registered to a famous singer, attention shifted to her life before she disappeared. Because what the public uncovered next made the story even more tragic. Celeste Rivas had a history of running away. According to sources close to the family, this wasn't the first time she had gone missing. In fact, she had run away multiple times, often due to what some described as an unstable home environment. A store owner in Lake Elsinore, the area where Celeste used to live, recalled seeing her frequently. Not causing trouble, not wild, just quiet, buying chips, gum, and soda. He never saw anything strange, but said she didn't seem particularly happy either. In March of the previous year, Celeste's sister reportedly visited a nearby liquor store, asking the owner to review security footage. She believed Celeste had been there after running away again. It wasn't the first time the family had gone looking for her like this. Her middle school ex-boyfriend came forward in a video interview, clearly shaken. He said she often talked about not feeling safe at home, that no one really listened, and that even he, in hindsight, felt like he should have done more. He whispered, "I should have done something, but I didn't know what to do." Police records reportedly show multiple visits to the Rivas household by law enforcement. Arguments, disturbances, but no arrests, no interventions. The more people learned about her life, the more the case became layered, not just a mystery, but a tragedy. One that began long before the body was ever found. The kind of tragedy that isn't just one person's fault, but a web of failures from everyone who could have helped, and didn't. So here we are. A young girl is dead. Her body was left to rot in silence, in the front trunk of a car, on a quiet street. That car belongs to a celebrity. Someone with fans, fame, and reach. Someone who sang about death and alter egos and broken girls. Someone who has yet to say a single word about it. No charges. No statements. No justice. Just rumors, silence, and grief. Police say no crime has been confirmed. They're waiting on forensics. Waiting on more evidence. Waiting to see if this all, somehow, wasn't his fault. But tell that to Celeste's friends. Tell that to the people who watched this unfold in real time and felt the pattern, the clues, the gaps in the timeline, the demo tracks, the second girl named Celeste. Tell them it's all just a coincidence. Because right now, the internet is refusing to let this go. There's a movement online, People posting daily, connecting dots, sharing clips, archiving everything before it disappears. And if the authorities won't speak up, the public will. We don't know exactly what happened in that final week of July. We don't know what David knows, or what he did, or why he hasn't spoken. But what we do know is this: Celeste deserved better, and someone has to answer for that.